Hello and welcome to Your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan. It's Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. I'm Jer Stays. On today's podcast, Apple opened a new developer academy in downtown Detroit and aims to soon bring through 1,000 students a year. It's part of their racial equity and justice initiative with the goal to help address systemic racism and expand opportunities for communities of color across the country. So to learn more, I figured we'd go to the source. Joining me is Apple's Alisha Johnson. She leads external engagement for Apple's environment, policy, and social initiatives. Let's just jump right into it. Welcome to Daily Detroit, Alisha.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, the big news is this Developer Academy happening in downtown Detroit. Can you talk a little bit about where this space is and how this came together? Because I'll tell you, among technology communities and things like that, the word that Apple's coming to town with something like this has created quite a buzz.
So the space, if you get a chance to visit, it's beautiful. It's located in the First National Building right in downtown. And I have to say the area has just grown and developed so much. We looked at areas where we felt we could have a really significant impact. And Detroit made sense for a lot of reasons. Detroit, first of all, we know they have more than 50,000 minority-owned businesses. And when we look at what we want to do with our developer academies, it's to create an opportunity and a pipeline to access to the app economy. And so we knew that Detroit's entrepreneurial spirit, MSU as a fantastic partner, the Gilbert Family Foundation really coming in as a great partner in this work, it all just kind of felt like the perfect connection and the right space to bring our developer academy.
So for the uninitiated, just how important is the app economy nowadays and to be plugged into it? Because, I mean, for me, like everything is, on your phone, on your iPad. To me, it feels like that's where the future is and the present.
I have to agree. I think what people don't realize, the app economy is so much bigger than just developers. It's designers, it's marketers, it's business leaders. There are so many opportunities that are supported by the app economy. In fact, in the US, the app economy supports over 2.1 million jobs. And the App Store ecosystem broadly last year facilitated $175 billion in billings and sales in the United States. And that's across all 50 states. And so when we talk about the app economy, we think everyone should have the opportunity to plug into that economy and to really have access to the jobs that are created through that ecosystem.
And key to this conversation, too, is that apps are a lot more than games. There are so many apps that are just integral to everyday life or make things easier. It just becomes how we do things.
100%. Apps are everything from the way we create, the way that we get around, the way that we take care of our bodies, our minds. It's just really a pathway to improve the ways that we live and work. And we increasingly see apps as a way to improve our communities, to make the world a better place. And that's so aligned with what Apple seeks to do across our own values. And so it's so exciting when we have developers that are also plugged into those values and are looking at coding and app development as a way to do that.
So beyond the Apple brand, and that's obvious, but beyond that, why is this different as far as a developer academy versus, say, coding boot camps and such? Because I'll tell you, I've gotten so many press releases over the last few years about a boot camp or go in for 4 weeks and do this and that. And then there's kind of mixed results at the end. So what sets this apart and this whole developer thing apart?
Such a great question. And I like to think that we really take a holistic approach to these developer academies. When we create them, the goal is, again, not to teach the fundamentals of coding, which we do plenty of, but to also look across all of the different skill sets that make a business successful. So it's mentorship around design, project management, teamwork, UX, UI, so much more. And the other really exciting piece of this Developer Academy is its role within our Racial Equity and Justice Initiative, where we're focused on increasing equity and access to opportunity in the tech sector and more broadly. We bring our values to the curriculum, to the training. And one of the things that we've found when we talk with the participants is that so many of them are so connected to the spaces that Apple really views as an opportunity to improve the world. And so what we're hoping to do is not just to teach coding through Swift, which is our programming language, but also how you can translate that from the actual app to an idea that can really sprout and have an impact. And when we had conversations with the participants, with the students, there were so many diverse backgrounds, people who came to it from so many different perspectives. And I think that that diversity of backgrounds and perspectives really makes this a special and unique place.
When you're talking about skills and you're talking about all these different things, it is much more than the tech side. I know as a type of entrepreneur that there's so much more than just making the app. There's marketing the app. There's designing things. And then opening those doors is especially important in a city like Detroit. So what are some of the unique challenges and opportunities in a city like Detroit, especially aligning with all of your other equity and justice initiatives?
Yeah, I mentioned Detroit just has this rich history of entrepreneurship. Detroit is a city that has gone through so many phases and transformations, and yet there is just such a wealth of small businesses, minority-owned businesses. And so when we think about what we want the app economy to do, it's to bring these opportunities to spaces that maybe aren't as traditionally known for the tech sector. Detroit is a place where we meet people who just bring such a range of backgrounds. Our Developer Academy, for example, we have everyone from high school students to grandparents who have all come and found some value in learning to code and learning all of the aspects of the app economy. And so I think what we are hoping to do is to change the landscape of tech, to change the face of tech, and to make tech more reflective of our customer base, our employee base, the people who are really accessing our technology on a daily basis.
Well, data point after data point shows that when you have diverse voices at the table from a variety of ages, backgrounds, races, ethnicities, you end up with a much stronger product and one that can serve a lot more people.
The technology has to reflect the experiences of those that are using it. And so that's really been fundamental to the Racial Equity and Justice Initiative, to our own internal efforts at Apple, really looking and working to ensure that we are creating not just the diverse tech sector of the future, but the diverse tech sector of right now.
It's very plausible to me that people coming out of this academy could go start something really amazing and start to build up a whole new sector right here in Detroit.
You know, I knew that to be true even before I visited, but that was just reinforced in having conversations with the students. There are people who, for example, there's a woman who's a mother of 6 who was at the Developer Academy. Her children are already into gaming, and she saw this as an opportunity to better connect with what they're doing and then take those ideas and to transform her future, transform the future for her children. Similarly, we had a high school student who was already taking gaming courses through his high school, who is now attending the academy simultaneously while going to school and is already working to create his own app. So you're absolutely right. These are immediate opportunities and people who are taking these ideas and translating them into real-time ideas and projects.
Well, why don't we get into some of the nitty-gritty and nuts and bolts around this? How many students are in the program today?
So we currently have 100 learners at the academy, and over time as we grow, we see that growing to about 1,000 students. It's similar to the scale that we've had for our other academies, and we've got a really great model to follow and how we can really start out with a cohort and then just grow these over time, and that happens fairly quickly.
And then let's talk about costs and accessibility of this program. How much does this cost to be a part of? Like all of that stuff. Because that's one thing too, is the barrier that a lot of people feel to get into these programs. Sometimes they feel like they're kind of high.
And our goal here is to make this academy as accessible as possible. So enrollment is available at no cost, and students are not required to have any previous coding experience. Also, just a range of educational backgrounds. We have, again, diverse group of learners aged 18 to 60, and they all come from just such a broad range of personal, professional, and academic experience.
So if they don't have a coding background, what are the kinds of things that you're looking for when you're putting together these cohorts?
We're looking for people who have inspiring ideas, people who are bringing ideas, business models that they really want to scale and bring to market. And so we're looking for promise. We're looking for potential. And I have to say, I don't envy those who have to make the final selection because we get such an amazing group of applicants that come to these programs.
All right. So one area where these boot camps, where you can really see, are these developer academies where the rubber meets the road, is whether it's entrepreneurial opportunities or job offers. afterward, what are the prospects for them? Do you have any data so far, Alisha, on what these kinds of programs do with Apple and the offers and opportunities available?
Absolutely. And it varies by student, it varies by program, but we're seeing on average, graduates coming out of our other developer academies are averaging 2 to 3 job offers. So the potential coming out of these programs is really massive, and it's exactly the kind of opportunity that we're hoping to continue.
Well, I think that's so key too, because these are the kind of jobs that, these are not just jobs, these are careers that can really open doors for people. I mean, if you look at the average household income in Detroit and then look at what somebody who works in the app economy makes, you've got a pretty big jump there. And that could be a really big opportunity to change people's stations in life.
100%. The app economy is huge and growing. And what we want to do is ensure that there is a continual feed of people who are qualified and able to step right into it and to tap into this massive economic opportunity.
Yeah, and I imagine this can have some knock-on effects being not only going through in the Apple Developer Academy, but the kinds of connections that you'll make. In business so many times, and whatever you do, really, I found that often, yes, you need to know what you're doing, but also knowing people and knowing the right person to call and all that can really make a difference.
Absolutely. And that's really an intentional part of the design of the floor plan as well. If you visit the academy, it's an open floor plan. The curriculum is designed to create a spirit of community. There are so many group projects and ways that the students are able to really build connections. And visiting in the first week, you already saw those bonds forming. By the end of this program, those are going to be so much stronger and absolutely designed to create this network that will follow the students throughout their careers.
As far as follow-up, are there any things that Apple's looking to do follow-ups or alumni things or things like that?
We always keep a really strong cohort of alumni coming out of our academies. One of the most fascinating things that I've seen is we have students who graduate from the academies and then go on to be teachers at other academies. And that's always really exciting to see those who are so inspired by the program that they want to come back and help other learners to go through it and to take the learnings that they had from the program and ensure that they're helping others to come along.
And as far as time for this program, like how long do each of these programs last? What is the time commitment? That kind of stuff.
So we have 2 distinct training programs as a part of the academy. The first is a 30-day foundations course, and that covers some of the fundamentals of coding. And then we have a more intensive 10 to 12-month academy program, and that goes deeper into coding and some of the broader professional skills that we talked about.
Gotcha. And where's the funding for all of this coming from?
So we're so excited to be collaborating with Michigan State University and the Gilbert Family Foundation. So it's a really great partnership with Apple to support this program in Detroit.
So if people are interested, they want to raise their hand, they want to be part of the next cohort, where can they go?
So we have a link, developeracademy.msu.edu. That is where anyone can go and find out information about the program and the next cohort.
Good to know. All right. Thank you so much, Alisha Johnson. She leads external engagement for Apple's environment policy and social initiatives. Thank you so much for your time. And I know from my listeners that there's a lot of people excited about this project.
Well, we are excited too. So thank you so much for having me today.
Well, that's it for today. Remember, if you like what we're doing, tell a friend about the Daily Detroit podcast. It is the best way to push Metro Detroit's conversation forward. With that, I'm Jer Stays. Thanks so much for listening. Take care of each other, and we'll talk tomorrow.